Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm EVM and this is the eSpaceTourer from Citroën. Very much like the dispatch van that I had on the channel a few months ago. So effectively it's a minibus, a people carrier, something if you've got lots of kids you may be interested in, because there aren't a lot of minibuses or something that shifts lots of people around in full electric world. So if we look at this as a minibus that's full electric, how does it compare? There's no point in saying how good an electric vehicle it is. It's designed to shift people around. There are going to be compromises on range. I mean, it's got a 50 kilowatt-hour battery, just under 45 usable. We've just got back from a 1,000 mile trip around the Scottish Highlands, effectively using this as a sort of camper van, basically. Watch out for that video in the channel over the coming weeks. But that has given us a unique insight, I think, onto how this would operate, not just around town, which I suspect it's designed for as a minibus, as a taxi, but also if you wanted to actually genuinely ferry off, ferry a large family around the country. As I said, there's not a huge amount of options out there in the electric car world, so this could be the start of the minibus electric revolution. As usual, we'll have a look around the outside, the inside, and then we'll take it on the road. Clearly, it's a Citroën. It's got the massive logo here, as a lot of Citroëns do these days. And in terms of, it's a big front end, isn't it? It's a big van, it should be. But I think they've broken this up quite well. You've got a bit of plastic here with the little blue E to let you know it's the electric version. And in what is effectively a sea of plastic, again, I think they've done quite well. You've got the DRLs either side, and it's pretty good looking for a van. So if this was on your drive because you needed that sort of people carrier capability, I don't think you'd mind that at all. From the side, well, it's a van. The charging flap is actually here, but on that side, I've put it in the wrong way because I'm a professional. Massive door for easy entry there. And of course, side door, quite heavy. Oh, hello. For easy entry into the back. And you can move this forwards very easily to get people in the back as well. So yeah, that's the side. You got a step. That didn't work out as well as I thought it would. Right, let's have a look around the back now. Yep. As you'd expect, big and bulbous, very flat. It's a van. What's more to say? It's got lights either side, and this one opens up from here, which comes out very, very far. It's a massive load bay. I've taken the seats out just so I can show you what it's like in that configuration, because it is a very, very flexible machine, as we proved when we took it in the Scottish Highlands. This is the chair, which you can relatively easily lift in and out. So if you want to shift a load of gear to the tip or whatever, and have no seats at all, that is a thing. Look, you've even got a plug socket here. Only does 120 watts, but it's usable. You know, you could charge your laptop off that or something small. Right, so if I put this seat back in its place, really easy. You just pull this red lever here. You can move it there. Or you can move it all the way over here. Pull that lever there, you can move it back, you can move it forward, you can fold it down to use as a table. There we go. Really easily configurable for whatever you want to do with it. Whew. Right, now, as I kind of sort of said earlier, if you pull that cord, you can move them backwards and forwards. That is very easily done. That increases the amount of luggage space you want, for example. Oh, right, lovely weather once more. Effectively, if you set your expectations at van level, then I think you'll be fine with this. Standard steering wheel, nothing special, but it fills the purpose and reasonably comfortable to hold onto. Switches, nice and solid. Lots of hard-wearing materials as you'd expect in something like this. You got a little bit of a cubby hole there and a huge door beam, so to say, down at the bottom, which is quite difficult to reach when you're driving, I should point out. Let me turn the car on now. You use an actual key, remember them, and put your foot on the brake and you get this, which is a very nice display, very easy to see and use. If you press this button here, then you can cycle through on the middle there, various stuff. This, the chargeometer, it basically tells you how much power you're using clearly, and regen as well, and the speed, and that there is how much energy the heater is using. As I said, you've got lots of hard wearing plastic. That's reasonably deep, quite useful, but again, quite hard to reach if you're driving. The glove box, reasonable size. You've got another 12 volt adapter, so there's lots of charging capabilities. USB. Here we have the drive mode for your eco, normal, sport and so forth. Gear selector for drive and reverse. I find that fiddly. You can't do it as easy as a lever, so yeah, I prefer something a bit bigger to hold on to there. B mode for extra regen, and of course put it into park there. Handbrake here, pretty straightforward stuff. Place for your phone, doesn't do wireless charging, but yeah, it fits a large phone there. Now, that is something you're going to need. You're going to need your phone in there because ultimately this thing here is, well, it's pretty useless to be fair. You got the radio, usual sort of stuff, but there are very, very few options you can actually do with it other than make a phone call. However, it does do Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so that's pretty much everything you want and need to use, and that alone has seen us over that 1,000 miles. You got the volume knob there, temperature here for each side, easy to use. It's functional, if not, you know, it's not stylish, but again, it's a van, just like these seats. Functional, but not brilliant. They are comfortable, however. Over the long distance we've recently done, we've got no backache, no bum ache, all the usual sort of stuff. Now down here, there's nothing. It's just space all the way down. So if you want to put your bags there or anything, that's all right. But I'd like somewhere to put stuff here. I don't know, if you had a bag of sweets or something, there's literally nowhere you can put them. You do have cup holders there and another one over there, but they're not very wide. It just fits my bottle. It didn't fit Harry's bottle. So again, you're lacking a few storage holes. Up here, you've got your light control. You've got a mirror so you can see the people in the back. And if I just spin it around, you have more controls for the vents that go all the way down there. You've got your handles here to open the door and close the door, because it does need a bit of a shove when you close it. You've got the cup holder either side, and that side's got a 12 volt adapter over in the corner too. Even people who are over 6 foot, huge amount of room. Even in the middle here, again, you're going to be fine. It's a proper people carrier minibus. Behind the front seats, you do have these tables as well. There's nothing behind the ones that I'm sat in, so the people right at the back don't have this. There's a cargo net down there, and down there as well is that plug socket I mentioned earlier. So overall, yes, it's a van. That's pretty much what you should be expecting, and that's what you get. Right, well, this is going to be the first test of the Citroën eSpaceTourer. We have volunteers.
Do their parents know that we've taken them?
Well, Alice's does.
And mine.
So can they use their phone, Harry, in the back as usual?
Looks like they're using the phone in the back. Yep, all good. Can you tickle each other in the back of the car?
Okay, quiet down back there. God, I can see people in this mirror. Look, it's got a mirror for the back seats. You can see what you're all doing. Well, it's definitely it's a family car.
Yep, yep.
It's definitely got the usual sort of family feel to it.
We'll be there when we're there.
Just yeah. Do I have to stop this car right now?
Honestly.
Oh, how on earth do people who have enough children to fill this minivan up cope? We've only got 3 and I'm already tearing my hair out. Is anybody car sick?
Not
Brilliant,
yet.
no. You ready,
Steady.
girls? For the performance test?
Yeah.
Here we go. We're at 50.
Wow.
Not yet. 60. Yeah, we got there.
Not very fast.
Not really.
What do you mean not very fast?
It's not that fast.
I was scared. Do you think this would make a good school bus?
Oh yeah, school minibus.
Yeah.
Or a taxi.
Yeah, very good
Wow.
point. Very good point
There
there.
is
So, Alice, your daddy said he's going to sell the Tesla and buy one of these because they're about the same price.
This is slightly more expensive.
Slightly more expensive than a Tesla. So, what do you think?
not including your
Reverse.
parents because they don't need to be included.
I'm going to do the dad thing.
It's surprisingly easy to reverse, isn't it?
It's got a lot of
Windows.
yeah, a lot of windows.
Can we say?
Job done.
Right, so can we get your final verdict on the Citroën eSpaceTourer from a passenger's perspective? Izzy first. Is this a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Thumbs up.
Way!
Alice next. EVK. What do you think? Oh, that's a half
Ooh.
thumb. So
Thumbs
it's a
up.
thumbs up. So we've got what did you do?
Two-
Thumbs up. Two
yeah.
thumbs up and one half.
No, I put over half.
Over half. So that's a 2.5 out of 3 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Well, there we go then.
We're
That's
not
consumer advice right there.
Well, I think are you getting one then?
Right now, I think we should say that we've come back now from a 1,000, well, over 1,000 mile trip.
Yeah.
We have averaged Right, over the last 1,027 miles, we have averaged 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour.
I don't think that's too bad for something that's about as aerodynamic as a brick.
Well, exactly, yeah. And we have been driving it economically, haven't we?
Yeah,
We're
yeah, not
talking
much
like,
over 60.
yeah, truck speeds on the, I mean, a lot of motorways.
And it
is
was
that.
with a really heavy rain coming back.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
does take up quite. And it was -1.
And
coming
Scottish
back as well.
Highlands, if we weren't going down a hill, we were going up a hill. Because it doesn't give you a percentage, which is
No,
slightly
which is
annoying.
yeah, yeah.
But when this says you've got 0 miles left, you've got about
still
10.
looks about 10% on the dial, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
difficult to sort of gauge.
If you're doing longer journeys, 100 mile,
It's not a long. I don't think it's a long distance vehicle.
it's not, no. In town,
Perfect.
I mean,
The
130 to 40. I mean, don't get me wrong, in winter with the heater, you're going to be lower, and summer probably a little
The
higher.
point is, the heater just seems to take quite a hit on the range, doesn't it?
Well, this will do up to 100 kilowatts.
Yeah.
So if you've got a charger that match that,
Then it's a no.
easy. But a 15-minute charge will give you 130 to 150 mile range in a day.
Yeah.
You know, so you got the charge and another quarter of an hour charge in between.
Well,
So
if you're a taxi, it'd be when
you're going to have a quarter of an hour break, aren't you?
I should imagine you're going to.
I mean, I remember speaking to someone who bought a 30 kilowatt hour Leaf, which has got a very similar range to this.
Yeah.
And he said it was brilliant, but occasionally, certainly
He just
near
had
the
to
end of the
top
shift,
up.
he had to decline a longer
yeah.
fare. I think a central town city, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, in London, congestion
Congestion
charge,
charge, yeah.
it's full electric.
It's
This
worth,
would
it's
save
worth
you a
saying as well. It's
fortune.
incredibly comfy, isn't it? And quiet.
Yeah, really quiet. I mean, for a van, very quiet. We've done 12-hour journey, haven't we? Coming
Yesterday.
back.
Yeah. Isle of Skye to
I mean, you know,
back home.
I wouldn't say it's the comfiest thing I've ever sat in, but I didn't get out
I
with
didn't
any
get
backache or anything.
No.
I thought it was nice and comfortable. You've got cup holders there and there, again, as
Oh,
I showed
yeah.
you earlier.
Which they're not very wide though, are they?
No, I want something here. Door bins are really deep. I mean, you can fit a load in it, but you have to...
It's below the floor level.
I am
nearly.
now touching the bottom of the door bin.
Yeah.
You can't realistically drive safely
No.
and get something in the
It's just-
bottom of it. I mean, you've got loads of charging options. You've got 12 volt there.
Another
You got
12
the
volt under here.
USB there. You've got the plug.
A
back
plug?
there.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we should point this out. Imagine that you wild camp, which is what will be in the channel, as I said, in a few weeks. Imagine you took this wild camping.
Yeah, imagine.
No amenities, no plug sockets, no toilets, no anything. You have to rely on effectively a 12 volt adapter.
Yeah.
Imagine if you then found, after you came back from this 1,000 mile, several days in the wilderness, that there's a plug socket behind the seat. You would feel foolish that you didn't realise
Oh,
that
very,
until after you came
very.
back. Because when we tried it on an Instavolt 50,
Yep. Bang on 50.
it was, the Instavolt was just maxing out 50
Up to about
the entire time.
82%, then dropped to 20.
80% it drops
Yeah.
off like most. But then when we tried Ionity, we were getting, I reckon, about 65.
Yeah.
So that's as good as probably you're going to get. They say it can charge up to 100, but we couldn't
We couldn't get
we
it to-
tried twice, didn't we?
It just wasn't.
And even though we were on 10, 15, 20% on
Yeah.
Ionity, it were doing about 60 odd kilowatts, which is good. The ENV 200
Yeah, you're going to
van, that's the 40 kilowatt hour battery, and you do one, maybe two if it's cold
And
enough,
it's just baked.
and it won't charge anymore because
Yeah,
it'll be
yeah.
too hot. We have driven charged for 12
fine.
hours.
Absolutely fine.
Not missed a beat, has
No.
it? I mean, if you use this in a city,
Well, yeah.
certainly like, if you had congestion charge as well, the fuel savings would be enormous.
Absolutely.
However, you are looking at around
Bit of a
45
premium.
grand base for this.
But I think it's a sort of minibus. You know when you're staying at the hotel the night before you fly?
Yeah.
And that minibus takes you just basically 5 miles down the road to the airport
Yeah,
and
shuttles
back.
and that, innit?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's perfect for that.
Yeah, and the taxi. I can see this on a
oh,
Friday, Saturday night, ferrying the people, throwing up in the back.
That's it, yep.
Obviously, we haven't managed to get 8 adults for us in this to do a proper test with weight because of the current regulation. There's restrictions, should I say. So, with a full load, what do you reckon range? 70?
I reckon. Yeah, it's going to depend. If it's just round town, I think 70, 80.
It does what it is sold to us as. It's a minibus for around town.
Yeah,
And you know what? It's brilliant as that.
absolutely. You would, anybody with a taxi of this size.
How much would 1,000 miles have cost you?
What's your average MPG? What's your servicing costs like? Engine rebuilds, that sort of stuff?
So we're looking at £130 of fuel savings, forgetting maintenance,
Yeah.
per 1,000 miles.
And taxis do a lot of miles.
They do. The Volkswagen, the ID3
yeah.
and 4,
Yeah.
I think they use the same manufacturer.
They do, yeah. But in this application, it seems
It's
to be
fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go now. So
Scotland.
Yeah, why not? Let's
Yeah,
get on. So thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.